I have a question for you. You ever asked yourself, how do I build a team in this game? Considering that this game is team-based, I imagine that you have. But where, pray tell, do you get started? You could always head to Google and look up any character you like and find a team comp that they can work in. But what of those of us who want to build something from scratch? Well, this may be the video for you. I have put together a very basic breakdown of how I build or theory craft a team. Please keep in mind that this is only a rough outline, and usually requires a lot more time to really get a whole team down. I'll be merely giving you a starting point for now. Now, before we get started, a quick disclaimer. I'm not the greatest theory crafter in the world, or even really a pro at this game. I can get my 36 stars in the Abyss, and I can definitely make a fun team for myself. With that, let's begin. Let's ask ourselves a couple of questions. Firstly, who's the star of the show? What I mean by that is, who's driving your reactions? Who's the main damage dealer? Or even who's the team built around? This doesn't necessarily need to be your main DPS, but it's generally a lot easier when it is. For all intents and purposes though, this is just a starting point. Secondly, what is your team trying to do? This can be what reactions you want to use, or just a general goal for the team. It could be as simple as, make my Kaching hit like a dump truck. Or something a little bit more complex, like I want to do a physical damage team. 3, what kind of support does this team need? This could be a specific elemental reaction, like the previously mentioned physical team needing superconduct, or something as simple as a healer or a shield for some of the more delicate characters. And finally, question 4, how do you bring it all together? A little vague, I know, but what I mean is what characters can fill those roles? Who's your healer? What other damage dealers do you need to make your DPS shine? Those kinds of things. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to go through an example featuring my favorite character, Noelle. So as a basic starting point, I like Noelle a lot, and I think she's quite a bit underrated. So let's try and build a team for her, shall we? So question 1, star of the show. Well, it's Noelle, of course. Question 2, what do I want? I want Noelle to do tons of damage. What kind of support does the team need? Energy recharge for Noelle, of course, because she can't get particles on her own. And of course, extra geo damage to just really make Noelle hit that extra little bit harder. And finally, how do we bring this team together? Well, these 3 will do. Raiden Shogun, Albedo, and Goro. Raiden Shogun for your energy recharge, of course. Goro and Albedo for bonuses for geo damage, in addition to a little bit of extra energy recharge for Noelle as well. I should probably add a 5th point to think about as well at the end of this, and that's to find alternatives. In my example, I used 2 5-star characters that you might not have. So if you know that your team would love a Raiden Shogun for energy recharge, you might think about Electro Traveler or even Fischl for that slot to fill it up. Or perhaps the opposite, you could think of upgrades for your team. Perhaps a Zhongli might be better than Albedo, if you can get your hands on him, of course. At any rate, your team will often keep evolving and changing over time. Don't give up. If something doesn't feel right, don't be afraid to try something else. Experimentation is key. I say have fun. Play what you want and how you want, as long as you're enjoying yourself. I'm just proposing ideas and possibly a different way of looking at your characters. And if even one person finds this video useful or helpful in any way, then I say it was a success. Now, to wrap things up, let's take our example team out for a spin. While Noelle is kicking ass in the background, I have a bit of a story to share. I've known a lot of people who've played this game, and they found themselves unable to progress in the Spiral Abyss at times, and even some of the more difficult content that would pop up from time to time. They didn't want to look up teams, and they wanted to do it themselves. Sadly, some of them ended up quitting, even though they said they liked the game still. They ended up getting frustrated. And at the time, I didn't know what to say about it. So this video is dedicated to those players who want to do it on their own. And this video is less of a guide, and more of a way to think about team building. I personally have always found that I have the most fun when I can do it on my own, when I don't have to look up how the character works, just being able to figure it out on my own. So if you like Raiden Shogun and want her to be your main DPS, or you're a really big Lisa fan, Or maybe you're really straightforward like me too, and you just really like Ayaka, or Noelle. Go ham. And with that, I say that's all the time I have. This is my first time in a long time making any kind of video, and the first time I've ever made anything quite like this before. Any constructive criticism is much appreciated. I hope anyone watching enjoyed the video. Cheers, and take care. Oh, before I forget, I also wanted to mention that in the future, I'd actually really like to do more videos like this. This was honestly a lot of fun to make. And I could see myself doing lots of videos for different meme teams or trying to make characters work that are underrated or underappreciated. Tell you right now, as soon as I get a C6 Xinyan, you better believe I'm making a video on that.